Greetings, brethren, sistren, and otherin, for another amazing game of Fortress of Bone by No Theoretical Bias. This is a live stream, live, broadcasting live from the moon. Oh, maybe that's a slight exaggeration. The game we're playing is Splintered Moon, a post-apocalyptic fantasy. When last we met, our adventurers had been tasked with a very dangerous thing. Go down into the ancient sewer system underneath the ruined city, the Necropolis, the city of the dead, and take out a ghoul nest, a ghoul lair. The long armed ghouls hit hard and throw harder. There's a lot of them. Their claws can rend through steel like it's tissue paper. But they tried. And since our covenant, Ranveer, cleverly decided to cast magic weapon on a detonation charge, shall we say. It's somewhere between a fireball and a brick of C4, actually. Decided to cast magic weapon on that bad boy with the side effect of holy. They blew the crap out of just devastation far and wide, bright, brilliant white lights and flames and all that. Unfortunately, it passed over our demonic is kind of a strong demonic is a strong word. Our infernally leaning fire mage, and it knocked the spirit right out of his containment cell, and it has fled. But Luther can sense it. It's close. It's actually not very close. It's over there. It's over there, and it's not very close. And I must find it. So they returned to the academy, where the academics were really pleased with all the mayhem that they visited upon the undead, where they gifted them with a few things, including a nice place to rest and a safe place to level up. So that has ensued. A couple of our warriors and mages here have gotten more abilities. They're stronger, quicker, faster, smarter, better, and more. I think there was a song like that at some point. Now, some questions. Ranveer, as you know, you can't get any spells. You've got your eye on a very powerful healing spell, simply called Heal. Um, Extremely powerful. You're going to need a new spirit for that. However, as you were resting, you drifted off into a light doze, and you found yourself in a different place. It's it's beautiful. It's this very it's a very clean room, um, big windows, um, and the light is just radiant. The walls are painted this rose, this really light rose color, and it just you just feel like you're in the middle of a flower. Okay, and the air is cool on your face. The shade is beautiful, um, and you're inscribed in the floor is this silvery gold summoning circle. I'm getting some feedback from somebody. Chris, I think that's your boss. You want to mute for a second?
Okay.
Is this summoning circle, okay? And you recognize it, um, and you're in it. And on the outside of the circle is an older woman. She is clad very simply in white robes. Um, Blonde hair that's darkening, and a little bit of silver at her temples. Very pleasant looking, um, somewhere between a mom and an auntie. And she has a very pretty smile. And she says, Ranveer, welcome. Um, I hope you don't mind. I I wanted to thank you. I'm sorry. Where are my manners? Call me Hakari. And when they say Hikari, the features change slightly. It goes from very, very feminine to androgynous. The hair grows black and then silver and gets a little taller, a little thinner in frame. And they say, little one, you have been such a wonderful companion and friend to my servant Xander. You have brightened brightened his life immeasurably. And I hope that you can say the same of him. I have a I have a gift that I would like to give you, but you would have to accept it freely, and there would be a few requests that I would make of you.
Okay,
May I may I offer you something?
absolutely.
Okay. And they turn their hand over, and there's this beautiful ring. Is it a ring? No, it's a bracelet. Is it a bracelet? No, it's a diadem. It's a coronet. It's a crown. No, it's a ring. No, it's a bracelet. No, it's an arm ring. But you know it. Whatever form it takes, you know it. This is the ability to heal. Okay. Oh, it's a rod now. It's a wand. Oh, it's a ring. Oh, it's a bracelet. This is the ability to heal. Capital H heal. Um, uh, Hikari changes form again, and now they're a masculine appearing child, like a 10-year-old. And they say, I would give you the ability to do this. And in return, I would only ask for words of praise in my name. Would this be would this be a gift that you would accept?
I will accept this.
Okay, go ahead and give me a pack roll, please. Do, 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 do. Oh, Schnikes. Okay. So you can mark this one down as a mutual pact. Okay. You Hikari is viewing you as a an ally. All right. There's no apart from the obvious. Hikari will give you the ability to heal if called upon correctly. Also, there's the stipulations if you can get the recipient to say a brief prayer to Hikari, bonuses. If you can't, penalties. You're under no obligation to proselytize, um, but you do have to thank them uh, for it every time you use it. And, once a month, maybe sit down with Brother Xander, say a few words about how awesome Hikari is, and just kind of stay on their good side. Okay, so you can mark that down. Next up, Luther, you also have a dream. You also have a dream. You are in. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. You open your eyes and you're sitting on a very comfortable chair. It's a large chair. It's a large chair. Let's not say throne. Let's not say throne. Throne's a little arrogant. Luther's anything, but he's not arrogant, right? Right. You're sitting in this large. Oh, it's so comfy. Oh, it's so comfy. And your clothes, they fit. Oh, it's just nice. And you got the rings, and you're just feeling good. Your tummy feels full. You've had something. There's a cup of something that looks and smells delicious over here, and it's kind of an entertaining or reception room. Okay, there's obviously been a party here, and these quiet, well-dressed servants are bustling around and tidying everything up. And that's when the warrior walks in. Silver armor. So, oh, silver? No. Platinum. Platinum armor. And it's picking up every available light in the room. You've got a lot of them have gone out, but you've got candelabra and torches and lanterns and things. So it's fairly dim, but the armor picks up every glint of light in the room. And full capape, full face, and does not appear to have any weapons or a shield, but full armor. And the warrior walks in, gives you a nod of an equal, and this voice echoing in your head, it's cutting. It's not painful, but this is a voice that would carry through a battlefield. If this voice shouted an order, it would be heard and it would be followed. And the warrior says, I have heard of your deeds, mighty Luther, and I have heard of your recent troubles. I offer a pact. I offer a boon. I offer my service. It is a service that you have need of. I feel it within me. And the warrior gestures, and a heart blade appears in their hand, just crackling with energies. Okay. And again, light fills the room. This I would give you. This I would give if you will be my ally, if you will be the fire in the dark, if you will be that which smites, if you will be that which cleanses the land with fire. Would you accept? Would you take up this brand? Would you take up this flame? I have seen your heart. I have seen your soul. You have the soul of a warrior, Luther. Take it up. Take up this blade. Let it be yours. What say you?
I don't know what I'm trying to think what Luther would say. I mean, obviously the promise of like power is enticing, but there's that fear in the back of his mind about his own the spirit of the lantern coming back with even more rage than before. So sadly, I think just out of thoughts of the lantern, he would have to decline it for now, but do so in a respectful manner.
I see your fear. I see your fear, and it is an honest fear. Those who are not afraid are foolish or dead, sometimes in that order. It is good to fear. It is good to fear what cannot be controlled. I have, and gestures again, and now in their hand is a sphere of fire. It's like a shield made out of fire. Though I have sword, I have shield. I have that which protects, and none that are of the flame, none that are of the fire will touch you, whilst I ally to you, while you have bound your heart to my cause. Shun the old ways. Shun the fire carried in an iron prison that rages and thirsts. This is a pure flame. This is a pure flame, my friend, my ally, brother of my heart. This is a purity unlike one you have ever known. I do not beg. I do not beg, but I will say, Luther, please take this up. Be everything you have ever wanted to be and far surpass it. Please reconsider.
I think Luther would accept the offer.
Okay, right on. So the warrior comes over, raises you up, and um, sinks to one knee, okay, and gestures that you do the same. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. The shield disappears and the flaming sword is pressed into your hand, and you feel it take spark. You feel it take spark. You feel it galvanizing your body. And the armored fist is wrapped around yours, and the warrior, the knight, says, "This is yours. This is a blade of the light." And the armor melts away, and you're looking into a face. It's a kind face, but it's determined. There's a steel backbone to this, and the eyes are just radiant. They look like a sunrise. And you have a hard time looking at anything but the eyes, and the voice says, "Serve willingly, and I will give you everything your heart has ever desired. Go now, use your gift." And you wake up. Your lantern has melted. It's bent over, and it looks like a candle that's been put too close to the fire, and it's melted. Um, you feel a fire within you, Luther, and now you know its name. Got any guesses?
Is it Moku?
No, no. Moku is so happy, by the way. Moku, you wake up and Moku's like licking your face. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so why am I so happy? I'm a dog. Oh, this rules. Okay. Um, the name of the spirit that you've just bonded with as a flame spirit is Hikari. Xander, you can mark off two
Yes.
you can mark off two tasks.
Great, great,
All
great.
right. So you very quickly find, Luther, that you have full access to all of the abilities that you had before, only now look up celestial spirit as opposed to infernal. One of the things that you can tag on to your one of your choices is now holy. So and the there's a voice that whispers in your ear before the knowledge that the spirit is there, but passively. The voice says, "Just remember, holy doesn't always mean good. Holy doesn't always mean nice." So there you are. All right. So, oh, by the way, you still can sense that spirit vaguely. You can sense the infernal. It's out there. It's muted. It's like it's through a sheet of fabric, but you can still kind of sense it. All right. So, huzzah. So you're here at the academy. Again, solved, or at least temporarily solved their ghoul problem. Um, everybody's got a few new abilities. Where do you go from here?
Okay.
Go ahead.
My question is for Luther. Luther, are you still going after your spirit?
I think in this moment, probably not.
Okay.
I think he's confused, honestly.
Are you okay? My next question is, how are Ranveer and Luther telling specifically Albrecht and Xander the dreams and the new acceptance?
Oh, I'm not. Luther's not saying anything.
Okay. So my only question with that is we kind of already are like, okay, we're gonna go set out and get your spirit. Are you gonna be
Hmm.
like, no, we don't need to go do that anymore, or are you just gonna kind of let us go set out and go do that now?
I'll like say that like we don't need to, I guess.
Yes, Owen.
Xander, if you want to go ahead and give me a cool roll, please.
All right, That's one of the things I thought about upgrading and then did not upgrade at all.
Good enough. Even if they don't tell you, my good brother, um, you you can kind of tell.
Hmm.
Um, you can kind of tell. They're carrying different energies, and before where no offense, Luther was really tense. Okay, a tension of you wake up and you're missing your right arm. Okay, it doesn't hurt. You know where it is. You're gonna have to go get it. But I really could use my right arm right about now. That would be really helpful. Um, and that tension is gone, and you sense a connection in there that you didn't sense before. Randbeer, it's real easy. Randbeer's almost, you know, floating a foot above the ground and just popping with these healing energies.
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Ranveer would tell Xander.
Okay.
Cool, cool.
I think Xander's gonna be extremely happy because he has less to do, and now his buddies and pals are now also able to go back to the temple with him, and possibly come to the order, possibly not. You don't like with Hikari. It's you don't have to just worship Hikari. You have to worship Hikari to be in the order. You don't have to be in the order to worship Hikari. That's
Right.
the best way I can say it.
Right. And there are historical records of people. They're like the righteous, you know. They do all the. They do everything that they do everything right, but they're still not part of the church, and the church kind of puts them ahead of everybody else. They're like they haven't even sworn service to Hikari, and they're still doing all the right things. So they're better than us. They're doing it without any hope of any of this. So they're like it's like knights versus masters at arms. It's the same thing. It's just one of them has devoted to an order. Okay, so couple of things. The You've made your trades with the academics. Um, you're aware that the Fracti are out there and are problematic. The fish people, who knows? Ghouls, who knows? Um, and it sounds like Luther isn't particularly interested in pursuing his spirit. Mm. Oh, no, you felt that. Luther, your spirit is very gleeful right now. If it was still with you, your spirit would have gotten to burn stuff and blow things up in a big way and very recently. Lots of destruction, lots of mayhem, very recently. And the energy was coming from the south west. What do y'all do?
I'd like to talk to the academics again.
Mhm.
I'm gonna pursue one of the things I need to do.
Okay.
Could I talk to? I forget if it was who was the person I healed someone.
Hmm.
And whoever the leader was that brought me to that person, I'd like to talk to.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Hey, Xander, do you want to be the official scribe here? Because sometimes I say stuff and then I forget it.
Sure.
Let's
Let me.
see.
I if I scroll up, I believe can find the leader's name.
Yeah, there was a leader and there was a scout. That bog, let's see.
I found the leader's name.
Okay,
Which is-
what is it?
Laura Beck, I think.
Laura, but that sounds right.
Sounds
Right.
right.
Okay. So going and talking to Laura Beck, and they're pleased to see you.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna come to Lorbeck first, not with like these are the alms of the light. No, I'm gonna just basically say, I'm gonna start by saying, I'm gonna start by asking a simple question, which I'm gonna ask Lorbeck, what do you believe in? Like, what spirit do you give credit to?
No offense, I know that you have. I know that you have some connections to spirits and whatnot. None. The the academy is devoted to knowledge. The academy is devoted to learning, and from all we've found since after the gods fall, after the final war, most of those that people called on in the past are dead, are destroyed or scattered. No offense to your patron, but we have a hard enough time keeping breath in our lungs and food in our bellies to be concerned with, again, no offense, superstitions and old information.
Okay. I would ask if you still believe it's superstition after seeing myself heal somebody and take that disease from them.
The scholar was once asked if they followed a god, and he said no. And they said, why not? The god does this miracle. Yes, the god may very well have done this miracle. However, have you ever heard of this powerful wizard who could also do the same thing? Oh, yes. Well, what about this miracle? Oh, well, what about this powerful sorcerer who could also do that? Yes, that's true. What about this miracle? And the scholar said, well, there was a witch who was able to do very, very similar things. So the scholar maintained that a god is just a worker of magic who has found a new and different source of power, which is belief. So, as I would not worship you, good brother, I personally, there may be some among us who feel differently. I would not worship you, as noble as you are. I would also not worship any spirit that we might make arrangements, might make alliances, but to give of our self in that way doesn't make any sense. My apologies.
No, that's fine. I also wanted to. I feel like these are some good conversations to have. I feel like I may be the wrong person to have them. I think you should really talk to. We'll be sending an envoy. I think you should be talking to that envoy a lot. I think they'll have a lot to tell you, not just about Hikari or what we believe in. They'll also have a lot to tell you about how we can supply water, how we can have alliances, all sorts of routes that we can manage, and a lot of information that we can trade. I think there will be a lot more than just Hikari to talk about, but I do think that you should be open to that conversation. I think it might benefit you.
And we will. And I will be telling your associates and your superiors, if any, how you have carried yourself and the assistance that you offered us. Broadly speaking, your people, your organization are welcome here, and they are welcome to bring whatever knowledge and whatever constructive arguments they have. Um, our people here are free to believe what they believe. Um, so if these seeds take root elsewhere, we'll do nothing to root them out and burn them. But I will send somebody who likes a good debate, because there will probably be a few of those.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So your Albrecht.
Mhm.
You've been doing some work on yourself a little bit there. As far as pursuits of the mind, what were some thoughts you had about gaining some mental acuity there? I know your sharp has gone up. Any idea of a mechanism on that?
Um, not to my immediate knowledge.
Okay. Options would be like strategy games, tactical games, doing some reading. Um, the people down here are always looking for a new person to talk to about this and that. Um, and again, you do have access to knowledge and understanding that you might not have access to elsewhere.
I think out of those, I think the most in character thing would be the strategy game thing.
Okay, cool. If you don't play chess or the equivalent, you do now. And yeah, chess is all strategy. Though uh, they do have some old number games, some bean games, and some marble games that you really have to plan out 3 or 4 or 5 or 12 moves in advance. All right, so safe place. Again, they agreed to top off your food and water, so you are free to move about the countryside committing mayhem. Let's see, points of interest. You know of the 3 closest Fracti villages. Um, not real sure about what's going on there. Of course, you know about the overgrown garden space. The meetup for the hermit is not so far away. We've got a giant hive tower, a couple of ruined forts. You think you may have heard something. Somebody might have mentioned that the Dominion was also trying to set up shop elsewhere in here. Not quite sure where. Also you've got all the villages and forts north of the Necropolis, with the local tribes as hegemonic states to the Dominion. What do you do?
Okay. I think Xander at this point, having journeyed through the Necropolis, would want to head back, and is kind of vouching to either head from here. Because are we on the where it comes to like borders of the Necropolis? Can we tell we're really close to the edge of the Necropolis? We can leave from here, or do we just kind of know?
The shortest way would pretty much be back the way you came.
Okay.
I mean, you could head, all right, from where you're at, if you head due east, that's toward home, you're going to be running into Fracti territory and Ghoul territory. It's going to take multiple days And you really don't want to be in a bad position at night involving ghouls. Past that, you think is Iraqi territory, the Rat People territory. A little bit safer, but again, you don't know how far south uh, that extends. If you go south, south is a huge question mark. Um, you don't know much about that, though. The indications were that the fish people were coming up from the south. That may just be in the sewers, though. You're not sure. West, again, apart from being the wrong direction, is also straight into Fracty territory. Could be worse, could be bugs. North, you might run into some more bug territory. Or you might run into more Fracty, depending. So, I mean, your call, but what are your thoughts?
What are you guys thinking? Because I think Xander basically just wants to backtrack, go back, be like, hey, we found this. We know all of this now. Basically
I mean-
resupply and head towards some of the new places that we figured out where like Dominion. Specifically.
Ranvier would not be opposed.
Okay.
The real question is, do we take the short way back or the long, safe way back?
I think we take the safe way back and see if we can maybe talk to the hermit, be like, hey, give him information on like the people at the academy. And if he already knows, he'll be like, oh, haha, now you know what I mean? And then try to see if we can maybe refill there, head to the bug folk, see if we can resupply there again, and then go back. I feel like that would be like the ultimate walk, supply, go home type thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
The only potential issue with that is that you're going to be heading through bug territory almost exclusively. And that's you don't know if you've seen the worst of what that could be.
Now, would the shortcut be through Ghoul territory?
The shortcut would definitely be through Ghoul territory. If you had better information on where that ran out, you might be able to like do a daytime run through that, but you don't know if you're in possession of enough information on that.
I'm sure
Okay.
people here would know something.
I think our first stop is the hermit anyways, right? Because from there we can head east past the ghouls from the hermit, hopefully get through the Reki territory and be like, hey, we're friends here. Maybe even tell them some information, sell some more stuff to them, and then head out from there.
Because, I mean, what I'm thinking, we know we can fight ghouls. We just did, but we don't know the extent of the bugs. We've only dealt with probably underlings.
We saw the bug column, but that was about it.
That was huge.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So if we can just get a little bit information, I think the shortcut actually might be safer because we know we can hold our own against ghouls.
Yeah. Okay. My question is how's everyone's rations looking?
I think
Again, you got topped off by the academics. It's mostly like mushrooms and stuff. They do have a fairly robust mushroom growing thing here, but
Okay. Could we maybe? I don't know. I say let's go for it then. I like your plan, Ranveer.
Okay. So head out early, try to get through ghoul territory as quickly as possible, and then try to hook up with make contact with the rat folk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is going to be a across the trackless waste. So again, as usual, you're going to need trailblazers. You're going to need a logistics type person, quartermaster. You're going to need a scout to make sure you don't get jumped. And these are all going to be based on cool rolls. So decide, talk amongst yourselves about which roles that you want to take, and let me know.
Definitely Luther.
Yeah. What do I need to do?
Okay.
I think
Which one?
you should do
Go
the
ahead.
scout one, so we
Okay.
don't. Yeah.
Scouts.
I think Albrecht is the next. You have a +1 in cool, Albrecht.
I have a +2 now.
Oh, okay. I think you should do the rations one.
Okay, that's
Okay.
quartermaster.
Would
Got
we
that.
maybe want navigator so we don't get lost in ghoul
Okay,
territory?
that's true. Yeah, I
nightfall?
agree. We have enough rations for now.
Trailblazer. Okay, got it.
All
And
right.
who's going to be the final?
How much XP do you have?
Me? I have 4.
I go for it. I have 0 XP. I'm not. Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right.
What will
So
they at?
let's do it this way. Go ahead and give me a quartermaster roll, please. It's a cool roll. Ranveer, mark experience, please. Ouchie. Okay. So you are going to be taking a hit as far as food and water goes. Then Trailblazer.
You're not clicking. There we go.
Beautiful. All right. So you're going to save some time getting from point A to point B. So that's not a problem at all. If you do run low on supplies, it's not going to be catastrophic because you got through some space a lot quicker than you expected. And you know right where you are, and you kind of get some insights on the surrounding areas, dangers, and whatnot. Last but not least, our scouts. Oh, fine. Okay. So, you were able to avoid any big dangers. Let's see. If I'm going to give this one to you, Luther, if you wanted to potentially run into some kind of the potential of a danger, there's also a potential of like a wonder or a discovery. Up to you.
I'd like to discover a wonder.
Okay,
Personally.
beautiful. All right. Let's see. Okay. You're you think you're out of ghoul territory. You think you might be in the Reiki territory. I'll give you a little bit of insight into the areas that you traveled through. You went around the Prakti village to the east, and you basically kind of sort of headed east from there. You made it out of what you think is ghoul territory based on the surrounding signs. You stopped seeing like ghoul markings, and you started seeing like dead ghouls hanging upside down from buildings. So you're like, oh, okay, we're in some slightly safer territory. You were trying to find a safe place to spend the night, and you found one. It was in a basement, probably some sort of old tavern, you think. It still smelled like, cheap wine and mostly vinegar at this point. But you were able to pry open the trapdoor was very, very dusty, pried it open, took a look around, nothing down there but vinegar stink. So you're getting ready to get settled, and you swear that you hear like music, not really loud, like a little pipe or a little chanter, and a little drum, and it it's like it's on the other side of this wall, and you hear, muted voices, and something that sounds like dice. What do y'all do?
I mean, I like to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go look at
We
it.
should probably scout it first.
Okay. So everybody else is getting settled. Luther, you're going to go out and take a peek since you were the scout. There is a it's a no, it wouldn't be a bakery. Oh, it's a cheesemaker. You can smell the broken sign, very, very faded. It was face down in the dirt, otherwise it wouldn't have anything. You flip it up and it was like, fine artisanal cheeses, right? And so you go in, again, the place is barren and picked over, but in a similar spot on the floor, you see a recently cleared um trap door. And it's been propped open, it's been shimmed up a little bit, and you smell some kind of incense, or might be tobacco, might be some sort of pipe leaf. And again, muted laughter, muted music, and the rattle of dice. What do you do?
I don't think Luther would have enough information about the world to know that there's like probably like a game of poker or something going down there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think he'd take a little peek just to see like what's going on, like stealthily.
Okay, so you got your eye to that. Give me an observe roll, please. Okay, mark experience. Ask a question, but you might not like the answer.
What should I be looking out for?
What should you be looking out for? Well, you probably should be looking out for who's wearing the boots. You're peeky, and there's a set of boots standing next to you all of a sudden. Or it might be in who's in these boots over here. And a not unfriendly whisper. Hello, friend. Are you here to gain favor with the lady? And you look up and up and up. The good news is the tall guy is pretty skinny. The short guy is not. The short guy ain't that short. So you got basically a can of soup and a stick of beef jerky looking down at you with, again, not unpleasant smiles. Their weapons are evident but not in hand. And they have kind of a uniform, sort of. They're wearing uh, trousers, wearing pants. They have flowy shirts that can be tightened up to keep the dust out. They've got hoods. They've got short cloaks with hoods and a pull across strap for breathing through, which is always smart out here. But they're also wearing vests. They're wearing fairly nice vests. This one, it's made out of a black tanned leather with silver buttons, and the other one, it's a rich brown, like a chocolatey brown, and he's got brass buttons on it. and but the cut and the style of the clothes is similar. It was obviously a choice. Greetings, friend. May we help you up?
I mean, sure.
Okay. So the tall one introduces himself. He's one of these like really homely. He's not ugly, but he's just like just like a mud fence. Tall one. He's homely. He's got big ears that stick out, and they call him uh, uh, Pitcher because of the big handles. You see. And then the shorter one, probably a dwarf. Now that you get a good look, um, dwarvish, neatly trimmed beard, and he goes by Boxer. Okay. So they help you to your feet, dust you off a little bit. Welcome, welcome. Uh, would you care to come and try your hand with the lady? And they both make a gesture. It's like that. Would you care to try your hand with the lady?
Sure, I'd love to meet someone.
Awesome. All right. So they escort you down in. The ladder is pretty easy to get down, and there's 4 other people down here. Okay. Um, and there's mild exclamations. Two, uh, two femme presenting, one androgynous, and one masked presenting, and they're all very happy. Oh, brethren, sisterin, otherin, who have you brought to us? Oh, come sit. And you're at this little table, and they give you a little thimble of water and a little cracker. Oh, welcome, and they all have got the vests. The ones who are down here don't have the cloaks and stuff, but they're like hanging over in a corner. They all have the vests, and the ringleader is this older person. They've got long gray hair, and it's done up in like 10,000 braids. It's and clumped. Um, and the leather is scaled, very finely scaled leather with a reddish hue to it. Um, very, very nice. And their buttons are maybe silver, maybe platinum. All right. And they've got a case open. There's like a little table that they've knocked together here. They've got a case open, and it's got cups and it's got dice. There you see a set of dominoes. You see 3 or 4 sets of cards. And the ringleader, who introduces themselves as dealer, ringleader, long gray hair. A lot of vests. Lots of vests. All right. So, is this your first time meeting the lady? I am dealer. You are
I'm Luther. Hi.
Luther. Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We do have to keep our voices down a little bit because we don't know much about this neighborhood, but the lady brought us here, and this is where we set up shop. So, all right. Do you gamble by any chance, friend Luther?
What's a gamble?
Oh, gambling. Oh, come now. You place a wager on an event. Maybe it's some dice, maybe it's coin flipping, maybe it's some cards, maybe, I don't know, chess, dominoes, whatever. Whatever you feel to try your hand at. Then we make a bet. If anybody feels like matching the bet, we do that. And we try it. We go and talk to the lady and see if she smiles or frowns. She's going to smile on somebody. You got to know that. And you're done. Would you care to make a wager?
Oh, I'd like to watch. Just like watch what's going on.
Oh, beautiful. let's see. Well, uh, Boxer. Darts? Boxer's eyes light up and goes over and pulls out this little unfoldable like dartboard, sticks it up against the wall. Got two sets of darts. They're nice and just like and not three bullseyes, but evidently there's a scoring system. It's like pitcher. Would you care to wager Boxer on this? Well, it'd have to be a new throw dealer, but I could do that. I wager cooking duties for a week. Boxer's like, oh, you hate cooking. I don't mind it. I took that into account. All right. And they shake on it and they get the darts. They throw an uncertain number of rounds, but at the end, Boxer, oh, and pitcher like, yay, and they shake on it again. As the Boxer says, I formally accept my penalty of having to do kitchen duties for you, my friend, pitcher, for the next week. Good. So, meanwhile, while you've been paying attention to that, other folks are playing cards. They've got this really strong liqueur. You can smell it. It's just like, ugh. I could take the paint off the inside of your nose. But they seem to be enjoying it. They're passing around like dried jerky and dried fruit, and it's kind of a festival atmosphere. So, dealer is at your elbow. So, friend Luther, would you care to make a wager on anything at all?
Really good question. I have some this really good meaty incense that it doesn't smell great, but it's like it's earthy. Got it from I can't even tell you. I couldn't even remember. But yeah, I got it somewhere.
I'd be more than interested in taking a look. All right. And so if you break out the incense, they pass around, they sniff it. All right. Boxer has a few quiet words with dealer, and dealer says yes. What game of chance would you be interested in playing?
I think I roll some dice or whatever you call it.
Beautiful. All right. So let's see. Does anyone here have anything to wager against some wonderful incense that our new friend Luther has?
I have a question. Luther, are you
Sure.
betting the elemental incense?
No.
Or are you betting the bad incense, right? Okay, just
The
wanted to
bad,
make sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Absolutely not.
So let's see. There's a new player here. This one seems to be slightly high in the hierarchy based on vest. And they go by the name of Flick. I'm presenting. Kind of small and pixie-ish. Like maybe literally. You don't see wings, but stranger things have happened. So, and Flick offers as to cover your bet with just some gemstone chips. They're just amethyst and ruby and garnet and tourmaline. Would you consider this an equivalent?
Absolutely.
Oh, wonderful. All right, so go ahead and give me 3d20. Okay. So close. You win the first round and you win the third round, but the way the betting goes, she stomps you pretty hard in the second round. So she doesn't feel like she the splitting things up back and forth. Basically, she takes one of the discs of incense, but she gives you like half of the gemstones. Like, yeah, it wasn't, I won and I won by this much, but we can't split it up, so let's just do it that way. So everybody seems very, very happy. And a dealer comes over and says, "Thank you so much for meeting the lady. I hope her attentions weren't too difficult." So,
Yeah, I
uh,
enjoyed my time.
wonderful. You wouldn't happen to are you? It's getting dark. Are you staying someplace close by?
Uh, mm, I think I'm just gonna walk a bit further and find somewhere out.
Again, may the lady smile upon you. We hope to meet again one day if the lady wills it. And they help you out the door, and you're back in the deserted, broken, crumbled streets of the Necropolis. What do you do?
I think I'll just like silently make my way back to the group. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna be like,
So Luther has been gone a kind of scary amount of time,
Hmm.
um, and smells like pipe leaf, um, and bat incense for whatever reason. All right. Anybody else doing anything tonight?
I think, if anything, Ranveer would be up waiting for Luther to come back.
Okay.
like a concerned mother.
Yeah.
Okay. He seems to be fine. All right. So the rest of your journey back to Temple Lands is uneventful, though you do run out of food and water right before you get back. It's a combination of a little bit of overreach, and a little bit of things like rot. Something got into the water skins. You don't know what it. You could probably still drink it, but it doesn't. It's more brackish than it is fresh somehow. So a lot of that you're gonna have to replenish. But you do make it back in good time and fairly safely. All right. So I'm going to go around the table once to see what sort of things you want to pursue while you're back in uh, Temple Lands. That can be questions you want to ask about things that you can see, perceive, or hear about. That can be telling me what you're going to do with your time, since you will have a little bit of time for some R&R, and anything that you hope to accomplish while you're here. So let's see. Let's start with Albrecht.
Albrecht essentially wants to unload the crossbow he got at the academy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, give me a hot roll, please. Okay, mark XP. Um, they're interested. It's an older design, so um, it's got some flaws to it that aren't great. It's probably going to be better as a defensive weapon, like on a wall where you have time to reload and whatnot. But yeah, they'll give you a couple jingle for it. So take 2 jingle. Anything else, Albrecht? And I will be coming back to you if you want some time to think about it.
I think that's it for now.
Awesome. Ranveer, what are you going to be doing while you're here?
So I did originally plan to go with Xander to talk about what we saw.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess until that time, could I get a refill on my food and water?
Oh, sure. Sure. Um, Mark up the refill. I will let you know later whether or not you'll actually have to pay for it. So
Okay.
that may not necessarily be the case. Luther, what are you going to be doing?
I think like the main thing I'm gonna be doing is just like trying to avoid contact with Liam to the best of my abilities.
Oh, actually, I thought wasn't Liam off with the bug people?
Yeah.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's probably driving one of them crazy right now. You know, and then okay, cool. So yeah, it's blessedly quiet here, actually, in the halls of light and knowledge. And you said you had some level up stuff. You can go ahead and do that here as well, since we were holding off on whether or not you knew you had a spirit yet. Xander. Yeah. Okay. So the debriefing, they're basically every other thing you say, they're like, oh, and then what happened? Oh my gosh, you did what? Oh my gosh, and you met who? Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Do you leave anything out?
Yes. I leave out my feelings and my vote to not help the people, the Dominion, the two stranded Dominion people. I leave out the fact that I didn't want to do it, and I'm more of, instead of being like we helped them, I credit Ranveer entirely. Is what I do.
Hmm.
I think that's how Xander is gonna approach that, and then I think just about everything else I would repeat.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's.
Do you want to mention the fact that you almost killed Luther?
Well, I'm not seeing it as. I'm not seeing it as, well. I didn't almost kill Luther. I'm not gonna see it as Ranveer almost killing Luther. I'm just gonna mention. I guess that's a good thing. I'm gonna rephrase what happened with Luther and be more of like he came to a realization.
Gotcha.
He's reformed.
All
I
right.
promise.
So the feedback you get is your friend Ranveer has a very, very big heart, very, very soft heart, you know, commendable, but sometimes sterner measures need to be taken. We are broadly pleased to hear that your friend Luther isn't carrying around that uh, energy. Yeah, the place seems a lot brighter now than it was. Um, and Ranveer, both you and Luther receive a visit at some point in your quarters, um, and it's again one of the elders, and there's like, you know, one of the acolytes brings some nice stuff, you know, sewing kit, and sits down and starts patching clothes and polishing stuff and checking like buckles on, you know, bags and carryalls and stuff. Basically, the you've got an acolyte here just tidying up all your stuff, putting patches on elbows so that they last a little longer, and the upper the one of the father's mothers or others talks with you for a little while, just pleasant chit chat. They mention that there's the Akari spoke to them about your being excellent allies. Um, so, long story short, the elders give you a ring. They each give you a ring. These are um, brass. They're brass rings. Um, they're just a circle, but they've been uh, dimpled and faceted so that they kind of catch the light, interestingly. And you also get little um, like little brass shields. You can wear them as like a cloak pin or something, or you can also wear them on the inside of your cloak. You know, the elder talking to Luther says, you know, sometimes the light hides herself behind a cloud. You know, sun comes out, sun goes back. So, you know, just if you want to know, if you want to be a little stealthy about it. clouds come and go, but the light remains. So basically, you've been accepted as affiliates and allies in an official capacity. And because of that, you can also do things like draw stores and get stuff repaired and cleaned. So fill up your food there, Ranvir, and anybody else who wants to. You're not being charged for it. Oh, and Albrecht, you're also gifted with a bracer. It's it kind of sort of acts as armor, but it is more ceremonial. It's got some more of those brass pieces on there that catch the light. So again, you're not family, but you're friends of the family officially. So, in response, Xander, the elders are bustling around trying to find some envoys to the academics. One of them is like, "Oh God, if what was his name, Liam? If Liam was here, he would be bleeding out the ears at the thought of access to honest to Hikari library. We'll try to keep him on a leash when he gets back and finds out about it, but and they take to heart the whole idea of these people like to debate and argue stuff for a living, so they're sending some people. Uh, if you have the capacity to do some escort duty on that to get them through to the site, that would be appreciated. It's not a demand, but it's a official request to somebody who knows the terrain really well and has demonstrated the ability to get in and get out. If you can't do it, they understand. If you could do it, that would be awesome.
Okay.
So what are you doing?
Has anything changed? Do they have any like news for us? I know we've been gone for like
a while.
Yeah.
They did send a reconnaissance force down to the Fortress of Bone. And messages that were sent back, they've got like carrier bats. Messages that were sent back verify your findings before. The expansionists in the temple are really excited about this. Having a secured water supply that could be made extremely defensible, especially since it's got evidently got a reputation in the local area for being a very, very dangerous place anyway. They will need to get some artisans and crafts people out there and some workers to move a lot of rock. But yeah, they're excited that they're going to be able to have a fortified outpost and maybe a new jumping off point. Get another temple out there, get it consecrated. Yeah, they're real happy about that. Haven't heard much back from the Dominion, though that has been a subject of interest for any traders that have been coming through. Evidently, the Dominion is consolidating its hold on a few outlying villages that it's recently acquired in the last couple months. Again, bringing law and order, stomping any raiders that are proving troublesome, and basically winning the hearts and minds of the people. So, what do you do?
Could I have some? Sorry, could I have some help with leveling up? Because I found a spell that I found really interesting. I just wanted a bit of like details about it.
A spell or an ability?
I believe spell. It's called an elite move.
Oh yeah, an elite move. Okay, so what level are you now?
I am level 7.
Beautiful. Okay, so from first to or second to fifth, you can take just regular advanced moves. Anything after 6, you can take advanced or elite moves. Elite moves are the big deals. Which one were you looking at?
Soulstorm.
Soulstorm, yes. Okay. So Soulstorm. If you sacrifice something important and open your heart and call forth the storm, fire will rain down on an area no larger than a village. However, everything there takes damage. Depending on how well you can control the soul storm, you can turn it off whenever you want to, or rages out of control, which is fairly typical. However, if you lose control of it, then you've managed to open a portal. And open a portal of that's aligned with your spirit. So basically, if you rain down holy fire on something, maybe a powerful celestial spirit is drawn to that, for better or for worse. What questions did you have about that?
For the sacrifice part, could I like sacrifice my health? Like a good portion of my health?
Yes. That's disturbing, but sure, yeah, you could sacrifice a portion of your health. Um, uh, the feeling you get though is that the sacrifice might be specific to whatever thing you're going to be smiting with the flames.
Okay.
But yeah, that's always an option. You're hardcore, dude. Swear to God. All right. So, what are y'all doing?
One thing I did want to ask either elders or someone about is what happened between Xander and I in the sewer and that healing thing.
Which part? Where the music rang out?
Where like me healing him causes it to be like, amplified. It's like such a power.
Oh, well, go ahead and give me a recall roll, please, and you can take it at +1 since you have access to some historical writings. Ouch. Okay, mark XP. You spend a lot of time and energy looking for something. They don't have any record of that kind of magical synergy happening. Doesn't mean it doesn't, but fortunately or unfortunately, you're kind of the expert on magical stuff here. So their knowledge, most of their knowledge is going to be about Hikari.
Okay.
Just through the proximity, and yeah, haven't really heard of that healing symmetry thing. You get, yeah, there's some indications that you might be able to do something similar with a ritual, but nothing definitive. All right, anybody else?
Actually, I think there's another thing that Albrecht wants to do while he's here. Mostly because I think it'll be fun and add some things. Albrecht wants to talk to the contact he has here at the Temple of Light.
Okay, and the contact was with?
It was with Garg, the low level protector, the half orc.
Yes, Garg. Hey, how you doing? What sort of information did you? What did you want from our good buddy Garg?
Probably two things that would probably interest all there. One is any form of like any like military actions of any significance going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other is if anybody has been looking for Albrecht.
Oh, good question. Let's see. That is going to be a where to go? Where to go? Where to go? Let's see. All righty. I like rolls like that. Let's see if anybody has had an eye out for. Let's see. Staying put. Ah, go ahead and give me a hot roll, please.
Okay.
Ouch. Mark XP. All right. Um, well, what with one thing and another, give me the name of a town or a settlement that you were in right before you started hanging out with these guys.
Does it have to be one that's been already established, or
No, no.
let's see. The hardest part is just thinking of names.
Okay. Um, let's see. Let's call it Beech Tree.
Okay.
Even though there are no beech trees there, it's apparently a legacy name. Beech Tree is actually a mining town. Let's see, probably to the east. Temple lands. And Garg has heard a couple of things. You got a bounty on you. Not small, not like trivial, but if it was like a double handful of jingle, okay, yeah, people, there'll be somebody interested in picking that up. If it was like a wheelbarrow full of jingle, everybody and their dog would be out gunning for you right now. So it's you probably don't want to go back to Beech Tree anytime soon. Maybe if you can find a way, you don't even know what the headman was upset about. You got 3 or 4 ideas, but you don't know which one in particular. So maybe a combination of the above. But yeah, you irritated the local honcho enough that they put a bounty on your head. So there might, non-zero chance somebody's going to be looking to collect that at some point.
Okay.
Alrighty. So we are currently pushing 4:26 p.m. on the clock. I think we can go for a quick bio break here, maybe do some quick discussions about where the party wants to head next, what they want to do, who they want to irritate next. And all right, so we should be back in 5 to 10 minutes, folks. Thank you so much for your patience and the eyeballs on the screen. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. So count us out there, boss, and we will see you in 5, 10, or something. Cheers.
2.
Welcome back, folks. Thanks again for tuning in to No Theoretical Bias, Splintered Moon, Fortress of Bone. All right, so coming to conclusions, y'all wanted to head north to suss out the not exactly new but newly reinforced Dominion outpost and stronghold known as King's Bar. All right. Anybody going to be doing any research or questioning before you head up there?
I can ask around.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a, I don't know. Yeah, go ahead and give me a sharp roll there, Randveer. Okay, middle of the road. All right. So, King's Bar is actually a little unusual, because it was first a merchant outpost for one of the mercantile cartels, like a trade town. The they're called the Iron Pigs. Iron Pig is the name. Oops, who we lose? There we are, and we're back again. The Iron Pigs. The Iron Pigs are called that for a couple of reasons. They field. They started out as like a raider mercenary type group who got really disciplined. They can field a fairly significant little mercenary force. Then evidently their leadership at some point decided, they wanted to die old and fat and under a roof as opposed to otherwise. So they got into the merchant business, protecting merchant caravans, taking over caravans peacefully and financially. So they are a violence-backed trade organization, Iron Pigs, and pretty successful. Actually, they're got a half decent reputation of being fairly fair in their trades. So Kingsbar was originally like a tiny little outpost of the Iron Pigs trade group. From what you understand, they invited the Dominion in. Apparently, the Dominion has got enough oomph that keeping law and order and maybe some of the raiders off their backs was of a benefit. So you've got the original trading town with now a Dominion outpost there as well. So that's interesting. The locals, you don't know much about the locals. You don't know much about how the town supports itself otherwise, but that information you do glean. Anybody else?
Is King's Bar different from other towns in the fact that it invited the Dominion in? Do we know if, for instance, the marble quarry up here, do we have any information on whether they were also, oh yeah, sure, come on in, or if it was...
You're looking for information on marble quarry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead. Are you asking around? Are you doing some research? Tell me the.
I think I'd be asking around.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a sharp roll, please. Alrighty. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Marble quarry. Yeah. It's this is a big deal. Where uh where Kings Bar is kind of on the fringes. Um, Evidently, the Dominion has really invested in Marble Quarry. Um, it's uh, it's a fort. It's a fort surrounded by chaos, basically. Um, there was there's a free city around this fort. The fort has been held by a number of different groups over the years, but the city is called the Abyss. The locals call themselves Abyssals. Free city, kind of sort of anything goes, kind of sort of anything that you want can be found there. Um, where the price, where the price of a life, excuse me, where the price of a life is gold, the price of a body silver, and the price of a soul not worth speaking of. Yeah, it's wild west territory there. But the citadel, the fortress is central to it, and they're they were taken over by the Dominion. The Dominion came rolling in, basically ignored the free city, and took out whatever raider or warlord was holding the citadel, reinforced the hell out of it, and basically have been using it as a base of operations in every direction since. Strongly held. Um, it's a large fort and has been expanded. Uh, and they brought in a bunch of workers from various places. Um, so lots and lots and lots of stuff going on there. Trade with the locals, trade with the local indigenous folks, scouting the area, um, base of operations, jumping off point for um, large expeditions in every direction, and it's a big deal. Um, there are It's probably going to be a lot more locked down, since the bigger place, more potential hazards, more potential security risks with all the wilder folk and yabos running around blowing things up and burning things. But yeah, it's a big stronghold for them. So where to?
Okay, Albert thinks we should go there.
Yeah, let's go to the marble quarry.
Okay.
Ready?
So I'm gonna need again, travel trackless wastes. Let's see if we got anything headed broadly in the right direction. Okay, there are some roads that you can follow. That'll get you in that general direction. Temple patrols, the closer ones. If you're lucky, you might run into some Dominion patrols from the middle heading north. But let's just see. All right, so we need a trailblazer, a scout, and a quartermaster. Who's doing what?
I guess I'll be scout.
Woohoo!
I'll be trailblazer.
I'll
Gotcha.
be can I do quartermaster this time?
Mhm.
Sure.
All right, great.
All right, let's start with quartermaster. Hit it.
Cool. Roll to right. Hold on.
Oh, you want to help him out there, Ranveer?
Yeah, prop. I have a 2.
Ooh. You've got two. You've got two blood with Brother Xander.
Yes.
Just roll it and then add 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're all good. Xander, you get the average roll there. You almost made the same mistake the quartermaster did last time with putting the wrong kind of provisions together to speed rot. You're fine. All right, next up, scout. Yep. Okay. You thought you were heading into some trouble there, Luther. Turns out it was just some anti-raider patrols. So the ones in question are apparently Dominion. So you can avoid that patrol if you want to, or make yourself known to them. But that can be up to the group. And finally, Trailblazer.
Why is not clicking properly? There we go.
Okay, fine. All right. So the total trip from where you are to Marble Quarry probably took a week. All right. So again, you've got some minor roads that lead to a major some major well-patrolled roads. So let me just draw this in here. Okay, so there is a fairly major series of roads that turn north to Marble Quarry. As you're heading into Marble Quarry, you see that there's another major road heading slightly northwest. All right, so then you had some minor roads heading up out of Temple Lands that connected. Again, the skinny one is where your folks are mostly patrolling, and the heavier ones is where you start picking up Dominion patrols as well. All right, so Dominion patrols, the one that you bump into, it's got like 10 warriors with like they're toe to toe, decent shields, short stabbing weapons. You've got 5 or 6 crossbows. You've got 1 Dominion knight and squire, and you've got bearers, basically anybody carrying stuff for them. Usually, you don't see bearers with the shorter patrols, but they're around. All right, so you come rolling into the bustling city. This ain't even a town anymore. The bustling city of Marble Quarry. All right. Imagine an anthill with a royal crown in the middle of it. From your approach, you've got this huge canyon system off to the east. They call it Big Man Canyon. All of you have heard the stories. Oh yeah, that's not a river. That's where Big Man cut himself and he spilled a little and it just rolled down. Oh, no, 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 that's not a lake. That's Big Man's pond. Yeah, Big Man's bathtub. Yeah, yeah, that's not the. Oh no, that's not a salt flat. That's where you know, Big Man dropped a salt shaker. That sort of thing. So Paul Bunyan-ish type of thing. So this one's called Big Man's Ditch. Actually, Big Man's Ditch, and it is a massive canyon complex. And this marble quarry sits right on the western edge of it. There's rumors of lots of stuff going on down in the ditch. Ooh, there's water down there. Yeah, sure there is. Ooh, there's like trees and plants and stuff. Yeah, yeah, right. Sure there is. But it is um, a sizable, whoops, didn't mean to do that, a sizable chunk on the landscape. Um, so I'll get that drawn in here. All right, so rolling up the main drag again. You've got some uh, trade caravans coming back and forth. You've run into two, one headed south and one headed back north. Um, heavily guarded. One of them was obviously a Dominion caravan because that's who all was guarding it, and they're flying the right flags and wearing the right colors. The other one is an independent, but they did have a couple of Dominion outriders riding shotgun. So it's pretty impressive the capacity that they've got here. So as you're heading into the uh, city, it's just a hive and a warren of all sorts of ramshackle uh, buildings, anything you can pile up or put a tarp over or put a tent up under, or stretch a leather oilskin between two wagons or something. Yeah, anything that you can sleep in or under is all over this place. um and it's all they do maintain the roads, the big roads. No one's allowed to mess with those at all, but everything's just an alley and a side road, and all around bustle, 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 bustle. A lot of people selling stuff, a lot of people buying stuff. 1,000 little cook fires going. 10,000 smells assault your noses, mostly unwashed people and animals. Um, People lining the big road. Hey, hey, pretty guy. Hey, your little old lady, your boyfriend. I don't judge. Oh, your boyfriend. Wouldn't your boyfriend love these earrings? Oh, on you or on him? I don't care. Hey, they look great. Free piercings. By the way, my wife does free piercings over here. Come on in. Oh, you look like. Oh, what a handsome couple. Oh, you're not together. Oh, brother and sister. Brothers. Sorry about that, folks. Come on in. Yeah, everybody's selling something. Everybody's trading something. Everybody's making a deal. You smell and see 3 or 4 different kinds of narcotics happening here. And the ramshackle gets a little less ramshackle the closer you get to the walls of the citadel. And the citadel is all business. It says, we are here, we are staying here. There are the rumors are pretty clear on the fact that there is a water source inside. So it is, with decent supplies, it would take somebody a year to lay siege to that. They probably had an inside person when they took it from the last owners. Probably more than one, now that you think about it. And the citadel is locked up pretty tight. Though the information that you've got, Xander said they've got their own, like, there's like a village inside, growers and makers and producers and all that. Basically, they brought the fort, but they brought the village along with it to support it. Um, you see, you see the soldiers everywhere, the guardians. They travel in groups of at least 3 or 5, usually 5, and nobody messes with them. Very, very bad idea to mess with them. You do witness somebody who had a little too much of this or that, says the wrong thing, and the officer snaps his fingers. They've got this person over the nearest cart or trough or whatever, and he takes out a knotted rope and just whips the hell out of this guy. The sergeant counts. The sergeant counts, and he gives him 12 lashes. Exactly. And then straighten him up. We good? You know, anything you want to say? We good? Okay. Send him on his way. You think you might even have seen the sergeant like slip him like a coin or a wineskin or something. So, so yes. So you've got the Citadel and you've got everything else. What are you doing?
Is there like any tavern nearby? I could put my ear to the street, see what's going on in the town.
Yes, you do have a there's basically a couple, 3, 4 people. They've got a it's a heavily lacquered piece of leather. Okay, it's about this, but it's just tough as a board. And they've got it set up on the end of a cart with like drinks and bottles and things, and some shade. Hi, hello, traveler. Sure, come on in here, buy some stuff. Um, give me just a luck roll. Okay. The booze here is fairly average, which means the clientele is fairly average. Let's see. You're just wanting just word on the street, any of the local buzz. Okay. Give me a hot roll. Huh?
Some tea. Oh, making some friends.
Oh,
spilling
okay.
some tea.
Cool. Give me how much jingle are you spending on buying drinks for your new friends?
How much does one jingle give?
Like a round. Everybody inside the place, not even inside. Everybody standing around would get a drink.
All right, I'll get everybody around.
Oh, okay.
I'm a nice guy.
All right. Go ahead and give me a hot roll, please, +1. Boom. Okay. You're popular. Everybody will take a drink from you. Again, it's not swill, but it's not the best ale you've ever had. So get people talking. You got a lot of people here picking up scraps from the Dominion. Sometimes they need scouts. Sometimes they need additional muscle to raise some things, tear some things down. There's a bustling business in stuff that they've torn out of the inside of the fortress that they don't need or want. And again, some of it's kind of odd. You hear for some people who've seen inside the gates. that they're tearing down some of the old fortifications that weren't particularly useful and reusing the materials. Bigger, better, faster, more. You can see some signs of new construction up on the top of the citadel. There's some engineering know-how going on up there. It looks good. Yeah, basically, the Dominion leaves everybody alone unless they're getting in the way. Again, if they need somebody to haul some stuff, or hey, we're taking this stuff over to the next town over, if you want to sign up as a bearer. If anybody want to make a couple of jingle, we're going to go out and scout this place. We found some stuff over here. We need some people to haul it back if you're interested. So there's like notices and criers and things, odd jobs. But there's also a fairly strong one of the little, it's nestled right up against the wall, is an Iron Pigs trade post. So they seem to be in a little bit cahoots here too. What sort of information were you looking for?
I was potentially looking for why, if anybody knew why the Dominion came here, if they're just leaving the town alone.
Oh, well, one wise older person says, well, the Dominion's you kind of using us the way everybody else did. We're a buffer, If the bad guys show up and attack, well, they're gonna have, 1,000 screaming, kids and goats and, sex workers running around going crazy, It's hard to mount an assault on the walls when you're tripping over, kids' toys and tents, So we're here apparently to just slow everybody down. Some valuable services, knife sharpening and, laundry, mending, blah, blah, blah. Evidently there's a few more girls out here than there are inside the walls, if you know what I mean. And yeah, so we're useful to them somehow. As long as we don't get in anybody's way, So they do pay pretty well when they pay. So not making any enemies here, or not many. So what are y'all doing?
So I'm gonna take that information back to everybody.
Okay.
Does there appear to be any religion in the area, or is it pretty much like not a religious place at all?
Well, there's religion and then there's religion. There are always a few people who want to stand up on a little
soapbox,
soapbox equivalent, drag out a couple of bricks and stand up an extra head or shoulders above the crowd. So your various ragged demagogues. You do see a priest of some stripe haranguing the crowd. The difference is he's got some followers. They're all in. He's got a green robe, like a dark green robe, and they've all got armbands that are pretty obviously torn off of the priest's robe at the bottom. Oh yeah, it's like they've replaced swatches, right? So if you sign up, right, you tear off a strip of cloth about this long from your sleeve, and they sew in the green one, and they take that and they stick it at the bottom of his robe. So for whatever reason, anyway, he's preaching. basically the green will come back and trees will trees again and birds and flowers and the water will run over the land. And his followers look pretty fanatical.
Okay.
You know, sure, thank you so much. Um, saying all the right words, call and response, et cetera, et cetera. Um, but yeah, you got a couple of them. Also, there's the one who's like, we have to destroy everything of the past. Okay, just all. We got to throw away the trappings of the past. We have to turn our backs on all the teachings of what came before. Um, metalworking and all that stuff. It's evil, and magic is evil, and it brought about the downfall of all civilization. And the gods are evil, and any of these spirits and unclean people dealing with them have to be stomped out and stuff. That person is not getting a lot of traction, but a couple of hearers.
Does anyone in those crowds seem sick, or like I could use a hands of grace on them?
There's 100 different afflictions and 75 different dings and boo-boos all around here. Give me a cool roll, please. Okay, that was a common sense roll. Your immediate concern is if you did a miracle, you might get mobbed. And it might be smite the demon, and it might be heal all of us now. Okay, and there's flip a coin, but yeah, not a strong non-zero chance of riots with you as the epicenter. So do with that as you will. There also is a group of twists. And these are the most heavily mutated people you have ever seen. And they seem to be proud of it. Every type of person that you can imagine, there's a handful of them, there's like 9, double handful. All of them orange eyes, the orange sclera on their eyes. You've got horns, you've got fangs, you've got claws, you've got tails, you've got extra arms, you've got lopsided bodies, you've got, again, any kind of mutation that you can think of, and they're proud of it, which is a little unusual. Most of the twists that you've ever seen have only had like 2 or 3. Any more than that, and it's unusual and unlikely, because yeah, the farther you get off of the original critter, the more chances there are that something really, really bad can be afflicting them. But this one's the ringleader there. She's preaching, and she's preaching, go and seek out these holy sites and bathe in the magical emanations there, and let the change take you. They're yeah, the way of the change. And the changers is what the locals call them. They're pretty true believer as far as twists are, like really, 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 really awesome and beneficial, and everybody needs one. And we'd all be happier if we were all twisted and stuff together, because this is cool, and this is how we know that we're changing as a group for the better. So yeah, little bit fringe belief there as well. What else?
What does Moku think of the city?
10,000 things to smell. He's all for it. Dodges a couple of carts, a couple of people not watching what they're doing. Gets involved in a game of kickball or soccer or something. Makes a few new friends. In the 12 and under crowd, comes back to you very happy. One of the vendors asks if he can give him something. He's got a sausage.
What an angel.
Can I? Is it okay?
Absolutely.
It's just okay. Gives it to him. There's only one problem. He absolutely loves the sausage, and it smells like a dying rabid vulture exploded in a cat box. I mean, this is the most vile smelling food stuff you have ever, and he thinks it's just the greatest thing since Betty White. So his breath smells like that for about 4 hours. So yeah, lots of stuff going on. Again, the more affluent, the more permanent buildings closer to the citadel, the rabble and the slums farther away. What are y'all doing?
Xander, I don't suppose you would want to have the opportunity to preach your own message, would you?
Okay, well,
If they seem to be interested in those individuals, I'm sure somebody would be interested in you.
Hikari is the way and the light. No, I think that that's a thing we could do. I also
I'd like
think
to note,
something.
he's not saying this seriously. He's making fun of you.
Yes, but I think Xander 100% is like, that's a good point. I might. No. I think that'd be a little bit of a rush. Something I do think that's interesting is if we have so few people buying into things where no miracles are being performed. If Ranveer and I were to perform some minor healing miracles, if we ever needed to do something with the Dominion, perhaps we just say, meet us at the Citadel. And we send the mob that way. I think it would be a good distractor if we ever needed one. Just something to keep in mind, I think.
I do have that Dominion ring.
Mm-hmm.
That could get us into. Is like the Citadel like blocked off to the public?
Yes, very much so. There's a dry moat around it. It's 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 a sheer surface on the inside and then sloped up, but the bottom of the moat has got a bunch of sharpened stakes. So if you were to come down the moat and maybe fall down and roll, that would get ugly. Or if you came down at a run and weren't able to stop, yeah, you're going to run face first into a bunch of stakes. Spikes, really, they're metal. There's a drawbridge, multiple drawbridges, the main one, and a couple of sally ports and posterns. They have cranes. They have these cranes that have been put up. They look very spindly, very thin, and not particularly strong. But you see one bop down and basically pick up these huge bundles of materials and just lift them up over the walls of the keep. So yeah. Okay, as you get closer to the Citadel, there are a couple of notable places. There are some less hole in the wall type taverns. An actual building with a door, and places to sit. A couple of those. There are a couple of houses of prostitution that seem to be doing a booming business. There are There is even a small hospital slash clinic. It's got a lot of bouncers at the door, and it is cash only. Um, but there's a hospital slash clinic there. And again, 100 little tinkers and blacksmiths and glove makers and shoe shiners and just yeah, every little thing that a city needs, just distributed oddly. So what do you do?
I'm interested in that clinic.
Oh, okay.
See what, at least what's in there. See if we can at least like observe.
Okay. 4 big bruisers and a tiny little like accountant clerk are in front of the main door. There's a shade, and the accountant type. What is your business at the clinic?
Well, my friends and I show him the ring.
Oh,
It's like, could we at least come in and observe your proceedings here?
oh, a tour of the of course, my lord. One moment. So the accountant disappears for a minute. The bruisers are looking at you like, okay. And the admittance clerk shows up with a nurse. They're short, broad shoulders. Looks like they could pick you up over their head and change the bed underneath you, kind of a thing. Very competent. Looks tired though. Right this way. Is it all 4 of you?
Yes.
Hello. Introduces themselves as Nurse Greer. Takes you through the place. It's actually very nicely done. Albrecht, you and Xander get the impression that this has got a very military infirmary style feel to it, even though it doesn't. It's somebody who helped set this place up ran a military hospital at some point. You can almost tell. So there's this, there's that, there's the other thing. There's everything's really nicely organized and everything in its place. Greer keeps up a fairly steady litany. Not much of a tour guide, but covers the bases. Okay, here's where we do triage and we figure out what's wrong with some people. We got quarantine over here, just in case. Trauma center, long-term care, surgery. We got some free clinic stuff down at the other end. Do that about every couple of weeks. Yeah, that's about it. Not much to it. Any questions I can answer for anybody?
Okay, Randver, I'm having a thought here. My thought is, you and I can probably help someone in here.
All right.
But I don't know if I would want Nurse Greer to see us do it.
I could serve as a distraction.
So okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna say, okay, all right. Xander's gonna ask. He's gonna say, is it possible for me to go into one of these rooms and just say a quick prayer? I'm a bit of a religious person myself. I just wanna just say something, maybe someone who's suffering more than other people, just something I can offer up.
Give me a hot roll, please.
All right.
Oh, okay. Good luck. Greer's like, yeah. Um, they're not like individual rooms. It's like wards. The beds are separated, but it's like wards. Um, yeah. One of the patients down here needs all the help they can get. And it's it's in like the long-term care section. Greer says that they've been here for a couple months on a gradual decline. Um, the doctors don't really know what's wrong with them. So at this point, in and out of consciousness, um, takes food and water when he's awake, but and we roll him over every now and again, so no bed sores, but we don't know. Can't figure out what's wrong with him. So feel free. I gotta go. I'll be yeah. If you need anything, it's Greer. Just shout my name and bustles off for a minute. What do you do?
I'd like to go to this person and try and heal them as much as I can. I don't know.
Do we want to maybe both try if they're like that bad?
Yeah. So I wanna first try because I can only affect one person at a time, right? Does your massive heal, is it like a group thing or is it like just one person?
It's a single target,
Okay.
but
Well, my thought process is we go help this one person, but as we do, we slowly start to affect people around them. Like we try to hit as many people as we can without seeming suspicious and just heal as many people as we can and just, that's it. Maybe we spread some word of Hikari along the way, but really, it's about the heal.
Okay. Give me a Hands of Grace roll there, Xander.
Should I prop him or do my own thing?
Mac. Well, 12 is max. So, yeah. You feel that there's something wrong with this person. Oh, that's unpleasant. There is some sort of curse-like magical component to this disease. You're able to clear it out of them. Um, you visualize it that you're pulling the disease out like threads from a rotting tapestry, and as you coil them up in your hands, they burst into flame in the light of Hikari. These are bad. These are pernicious. You have to pull and pull and pull and pull a long time. But when you're done and you come back to yourself, there's a little bit of color on this guy's cheeks, and his breathing is easier, and he seems more asleep as opposed to passed out unconscious. So nicely done. Ranveer, what are you doing?
I guess I will do my part and heal another person in this ward.
Okay. Give me a sharp roll, please. Nice. Your triage, you're just going through, being social, talking to people. The worst injury that you bump into is he was a worker who was doing some paid work for the Dominion, broke his leg real bad working with some stone. It was a compound fracture. They've got it bound up. They've got it stitched up. He's probably gonna be fine, but it's gonna be a really, really long time. You think that he would benefit the most. So what do you do?
I'm going to use heal.
Okay, give me a spellcasting roll, please. Dang, son. All right. And you can heal up to your total hit points. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, how many hit points? What's your max hit points?
24.
Holy smokes. Okay. yeah, he had some. He's a big guy, you know. He's kind of trying to play it tough. Got a lot of scars and marks on his arms, from various hard, suntanned, hard labor kind of a thing. Um, but there was this tension in his face, and he said, "Oh, oh, man, oh, if I didn't know any better." He's wiggling his toes. Uh, could you like poke my foot, just like tickle it or something? Oh, shit. Oh, ooh, ooh. Oh, oh, okay. It ain't numb. And he's cautiously like probing. Man, what did you do? My leg feels a lot better. What the hell?
I saw you were in pain, and using some of my like power from above, I helped you.
Smooth.
Give me a hot roll. Okay. Well, your obvious friendly demeanor, um, when you start talking about powers from above and magic and stuff, that's scary to most people. Okay. Magic is a myth, and there is enough of it around that people are scared of it and worried by it. So who knew? Um, so his name is Helen. Helen the Mason. Um, and really he's quite grateful to you. If there's and he gets your name, uh, Mr. Anver, sir. You just when I get out of here, if you need anything, um, I can lift a lot of stuff. I work like a mule, sir, and I know lots of people. So you just let me know if there's anything you need, right? So that works. Anybody else doing anything? You do see Greer headed back your way.
If possible, I'd like to. Is there anything around that I could inscribe like a quick message or a note to the person who I was able to heal and pull the curse out of?
Um, yes, possibly, but when Greer comes striding up to you, looking tired and harassed, their eyes open a little bit wider, looking past you. Your patient Xander has got his eyes open. May I have some water, please? I'm very thirsty. Uh, and Greer's busy. Oh, hello. I'm kind of hungry. Is there anything? Oh, that you had that you had those boiled grains. Those were so good with the little honey. Yeah, are there any more? I'll see what I can do, sir. Um, and Greer does a little inspection. How are you feeling, sir? Oh, hungry. Um, a little sore. Oh, what's today? And Greer tells him, "Oh, oh, yeah, yeah, feeling pretty good actually. Oh, achy, but a little good." So Greer bustles off to get some food and water, and you are standing by the patient.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to first start by just being like, "Hey, what's your name?"
Oh, um, um, it's it's uh, it's Gwynedd, but people call me G.
Okay.
Gwynedd, describe.
Well, Gwynedd, how'd you end up here?
Like here at the clinic.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't feeling well, and I know I had a little money, and so I checked myself in, and I said, hey, here's what I got, because you know my vision would come and go, and if I can't see, I can't write, and if I can't write, I can't make any more money. So yeah, I said, hey, see what you can do, and I just haven't had any energy, and I just haven't been feeling good, and I just again, sometimes my vision gets really blurry, and I get the headaches.
Well, Gwynedd, believe it or not, you were cursed, and that's why you were sick. Now, I know you may not believe me, but that's okay. Um, you're better now.
Not here, not here.
Oh, okay. Well, if you would,
Thank you very much for the water, sir. I was
mhm,
very thirsty. Ask around. G the scribe.
okay,
Ask, 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 ask for my wife.
okay.
Tara. Her name is Tara, and tell her Big Daddy G said to tell you everything.
Okay. Well, I think our tour here is done. You guys good to go? Ranveer, it
Yeah.
looks like you got someone over there to light up a car he truly has shown through today. G?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the Greer is a little suspicious, but too busy to follow up on any of this. You see some mental note taking to follow up later, kind of a thing, and you're escorted out. What are y'all doing?
So everybody, I was told to ask for G the scribe and to ask for his wife specifically. Now, I want to make sure that we all could you guys hear what he told me to say?
They did not.
Okay.
No.
Well, we need to tell his wife that Big Daddy G uh told us to ask for her to talk to her. So that's what we need to do.
Big Daddy G.
That's a
Yes,
colorful name.
it is. Um, but he is a scribe, and he seemed to know the nature of his curse, or the fact that he was cursed. So that's interesting. I think we should definitely follow up on that. Yeah.
Okay. If you're looking for this person, Tara, um, tell me how you're going to try and get that information. Anybody who's doing it.
So if they're a scribe, they might work or be stationed in the Citadel.
Might. You might be able to approach somebody at the Citadel, correct?
Or find some sort of directory.
Well, again, that is one thing that you know about the Dominion is they do have a separate like learned class, scribes and teachers and sages and wise people. So yeah, they would be keeping records if anybody was. So
I should have asked where to go find Tara. He just said kind of ask around, so I feel like this may be something that we just gotta have to ask the right person.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a luck roll there, Xander.
All right. 2d6.
Okay, takes a little while. Sooner or later, you bump into somebody who's like, "Oh yeah, Gwynedd set up shop. It's Dawngate. It's around toward Dawngate. Dawngate. The the gates out of the Citadel are not exactly cardinal directions, but there's one that's facing almost due east that the sun rises on. It's a neighborhood. Dawngate's a neighborhood. Headed over that direction. There is an unassuming home that in front of it is hanging a metal plate, and punched into the plate and outline is like a quill and an inkwell for the illiterate amongst us, most of whom would need to use a scribe. And the doors open and you think you see some movement inside. What do you do?
Do we?
Ranveer, this is all you. You got this.
Alrighty. So
Look at me.
I'm gonna knock on the door.
Come in.
Hello. Is Tara in?
All right, and you're looking at a rather plain woman, probably human or mostly human. She does have orange eyes, and her eyes are slightly larger than you would expect, and they're cat slitted. Otherwise, she appears like most other people. I am Tara. Please, sir, if now all of you go in or just Ranveer?
I'll go in with
I think-
Ranveer.
I guess
Okay.
I'll stay outside.
Oh,
I too shall stay outside.
okay. Gentles, welcome. I apologize. My husband isn't here right now, and he would be in charge of the scribing. I do have my letters, and I could read something for you if you needed it read, and I can draft up simple documents, letters. But if you need anything particular, Gwynedd is not at home right now.
Well, we actually just met your husband in the clinic.
Oh,
Call him by his name.
oh.
Forgive my language, but he told us to say, Big Daddy G sent us.
Excuse me. Goes to the door. Are these two with you?
Yes.
Yes.
Gentles. Looks and brings you all in, shuts the doors, puts up the closed, shuts the doors. It's not very bright in here, and her eyes are very large. And she's looking at all of you. Who told you that name?
Your husband.
Yeah. He seemed to wake up from his curse after being.
How do you know that? How do you
Well-
know he was under a curse?
Well, I was able to pull it out of him and burn those threads away with the light of Hikari.
And she sits down, tears welling up in her eyes. Is he going to be okay?
Oh, he's perfectly fine. He'll probably be
He's
here
stable.
later.
He's alive.
Oh. And she grabs your hand and presses it to her forehead. She says, I don't know who you are, but if you help my husband, I am in your debt. Excuse me. So what did he say? What did he say?
To not talk about his curse. I was just wondering where his curse came from, because if this place doesn't seem to have magic. Ranveer can attest to that, and Luther can attest to that. But
those Dominion bastards. All right. Everybody knows they're trying to dig up the past and try and find everything out about every damn thing, right? So, but they pay good. And so when they brought back the shipment of books and scrolls and all the good stuff, and G was like, they're like, oh, Master Gwynedd, would you come and help us translate this? Or would you copy over this? And the pay was good, right? The pay was good. I didn't, I mean, things were running short, but and G really likes the old books anyway, and he's one of the few people who can read a couple of these. Anyway, so they had him translating, and they had them translating here, not in there. And I should have been suspicious about that. But he was translating and he was reading, and he let out a yelp, and I ran in, and he said that something stabbed him in the eye. And I looked down at the book, and the letters and words were crawling like insects, like millipedes, all over the page. I almost threw up. And he slammed it and said, don't even look at it. And he sent a runner up to the Citadel with a note, and some very serious armed men came down and got the whole shipment of books and left with it. And that's when he started getting sick. So he told me that he thought it was some sort of curse or some sort of effect that was put on the books to stop people from, I don't even know. But so we're just trying to hope for the best. And we didn't really know how long he had, but if we were hoping some of those clinicians might be able to do something to help him, and they couldn't, and I kind of gave up hope. So if what you're saying is true, I wish there was more that I could tell you. I don't know much about where the books came from.
that's okay.
Can I get any of you anything? Would any of you like water, tea, something?
I'll take some tea.
Just please sit down. And she goes back through a curtain, and you hear bustling sounds, water boiling in a kettle, and she comes back real quick and pours 5 cups of tea. And I'm sorry it couldn't be more. So if and when he gets back, I'm sure he might have more to tell you. But again, thank you again. I don't know what I would have done without him.
Well,
Thank you for the tea.
yeah.
All right. And about that time, you're getting ready to leave. There's a knock on the door. Tara goes to answer it, takes a peek out, throws the door open wide, and leaps out, almost tackling Gwynedd. He's like, peace, woman. Oh, You want to put me back in the hospital already? Oh, 1,000 kisses on the face. Oh, look at you. Oh my gosh, it's cool. Oh my gosh, yes. And as you're leaving, and as Gwynedd is being dragged into the house, he says, we need to talk tomorrow. Maybe the next day. Slam. So, and there was much rejoicing. All right. So, hey, we're gearing up on 5:50 p.m. end of session. Tee-hee. So let's take a big step back. Let's take a look at your motivations. Motivation goals. When you get knocked down, what gets you back up again? Did any of you hit your motivation goals? One, being trusting, or no, that's the key, right? What was your motivation?
Using magic to help others.
Yes, you did. Mark XP. Anybody else?
I don't. No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay. And check your blood. Anybody have any resolution of blood?
I think I think that I'm gonna resolve the my example will inspire Luther to dare mighty things, because I think now it's shifting from me showing him to Hikari showing him. I think it's more of a, okay, he's accepted Hikari. Hikari will lead him to like the way of the light.
Okay. Yeah, you can make that modification, Mark XP. Also, Ranveer and Luther, I need you both to mark 1 XP for accepting the word of Hikari into your life. You were beautiful in the eyes of the light, and so.
I think I'm also going to resolve blood with Luther, since the lantern is not an influence anymore.
Perfect. Do you want new blood with Luther or with somebody else?
Probably new blood with Luther.
Okay, figure that one out. Let me know. Albrecht, any resolution of blood?
Oh, I'm good.
Are you sure? Okay.
Yep.
So, keys. Anybody hit your keys?
I think I might need to change my key.
What's your key?
Sacrifice something to the lantern.
Okay. If you wanted to do a straight port over to sacrifice something to Hikari, you can, or if you want to do a little research on a different key and trigger, we can discuss that offline. But
yeah, I think I'll do a new one.
Okay, cool. Let me know when that's up and running, and we can again discuss it if necessary. Anybody else? Anybody else hit your key? Okay, cool. The big three. Did you defeat a noteworthy opponent?
I don't know. We didn't really battle anything today.
Not currently. Did you discover something new about the nature of the world?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, you did. And did you recover any noteworthy items, treasures, or abilities?
Abilities?
I mean, abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's all on you, Luther. For accepting a new spirit, I'm gonna give everybody 1 XP. So mark it. And gold stars. Man of the hour, Tower of Power, Luther. Who gets your gold star for the day?
I'm gonna give mine to Ranveer because I know he wants to level up.
Ranveer, who gets yours, boss?
I'm gonna say Xander, just because I did not expect that hospital move, but it worked well for both our characters.
Beauty. Xander, who gets yours, boss?
I'm gonna go with Ranveer for playing into the hospital as well.
Okay. Dr. Bob, do you know the patient in 7B is dying? No, but hum a few bars and I'll fake it. Don't. And Albrecht, who gets yours for the day?
I think it's gonna go to Xander because now we have a new plot point
Teehee,
within the marble quarry.
teehee, teehee, teehee. All right. I'm going to award mine to Albrecht. I feel bad that I didn't give you more of a spotlight this time around, boss. I will make an endeavor to make better on that later. But yes, solid, solid. Those also serve who stand and watch. All right. Anybody within spitting distance of breaking level?
I'm 2 away.
I
Two.
am leveling up.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. All right. So, as a little bit of a denouement, again, you did come rolling into town. You do all have some cash. If you wanted to arrange for a safe place to spend the night, um, anybody who wants a nice place to sleep for a little while, you can burn one jingle, and I'll let you know when your stay is due for renewal. And if you want to level up, you can. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, kudos? Awesome. So, thank you all for dragging us into a new direction. We get to explore a little bit about the Dominion and what it means to be part of the Dominion. Also, what pies that everybody seems to have their fingers in. Also, maybe a few new factions that you might not have heard about bubbling up to the top. All right. Well, thank you so much, folks, viewing public, for stopping by, taking a peek, taking a listen. And again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, kudos, conniptions, conundrums, please ask. Like, share, and follow, or however that works. Come and check us out on our other channels for No Theoretical Bias. I've got some other stuff coming up here for Pilot's Voyage and Brass Horizons Skylands Eternal.